Okay, as I was saying, I was so really interrupted by the almost filled up there. I'm just pushing this thing down into that. I'm going to push it all the way down if I can to the bottom of the container. Yep, touching the bottom as far as I can tell. Yeah. Make sure we're touching the bottom. Feels like we're touching the bottom. Let's see. Yeah, I think we are. Can you see that? I don't know. Good enough anyway, I think. So just top this up with a bit of water. And yeah, don't forget that zinc salts are the most soluble of the transition element salts. Basically, they're usually people look at zinc salt. They're just pale in colour. This almost except for zinc oxide, which is yellow, of course, the high zinc oxide. But they're 10 times more soluble than all the other transition metal salts on average, which means they can move around more easily, but also they can accumulate up 10 times more concentrated before they start to salt out. So think of salt pans, desert salt pans and things like that, inland, open oceans and things like that. You wonder why, you know, the sands around Perth are supposedly zinc rich. Anyway, we're going to put that. This is all being done on Valentine's Day, by the way. So we'll see how it goes. But we'll see how we go with that. So it might be hard to actually see whether that does actually go red over time, sort of thing. So we'll see how we go. But we're going to get bubbles coming up there. We're going to see bubbles. Now, the sphagnum moss might be a bit like cotton wool. It may actually have, the reason cotton wool has a gamma bomb might be because it grows on the Atlantic coast. It's adapted, evolved on the Atlantic coastal plain, so it's resistant to seawater. If it's more than 80% saturated, it will not rot. Even under seawater, it gets impervious to seawater. If it's more than 80% saturated, you might find sphagnum moss is somewhat similar. It may have either a similar gamma bond or something, another type of bond that's very similar or acts in the same fundamental way. It may even be more miraculous than the gamma bond. You know, it may be impervious to seawater, blah blah blah, but it doesn't have to. It may only have to be 50% saturated. You don't know. So we'll see how we go. But it'd be very interesting. And does the bond actually produce reductive flammable gas when it's underwater, sort of thing, which is what grows the organism. The organism needs a reductive flammable gas environment, you know, a bit of zinc, a bit of other things to actually grow, and blah blah blah. But it can get in this sort of stuck in state, like this one here. It went completely sort of pink to red right the way from bottom to top in 2 days, and then went backwards, sort of thing, and it's got sort of stuck in this sort of stuck in state. And we got these other things with sort of jaded sort of look to some of these things here, which is very interesting because compared to what we've spotted out in the wild. And but this one's really interesting. This sort of blue-grey sort of look to it. If we can actually get that, the organism to actually grow that, and maybe if the organism is a symbiont, get it into the plant, we may be able to get that sort of glaucous bluey green look to the plant with nice red traps. You never know. That would be absolutely spectacular. What sort of pot are you going to grow it in then? I would suggest it may have to be a purple. It may have to be a purple pot. So you have bluey green leaves, red traps in a purple pot. What about the soil? Do you want a nice orangey brown, teak brown or something? I don't know. Tan brown, fawn brown soil. I don't know. We'll have to see how we go. But we're making slow but steady progress, and as I think we've discovered, one of the reasons we get this 1 step forward, 2 steps back sort of thing, it can get stuck in these sort of, you know, it's just sort of, it's almost like it's gone right to the end of the stage where, you know, in these ones here, it just maintains itself, but it maintains itself right at the beginning, and it's stopped from going further forward, sort of thing. So anyway, I've got a few ideas of why that is and how to overcome it. So if these things go completely red from top to bottom, sort of thing, well, I think we would have cracked it. But I'm looking out for this one. According to the time, it should start to pink tomorrow, if not the next day. And this other one we did with the cotton wool, this one over here, that should be Saturday or Sunday. So it's Valentine's Day today. Apparently we and New Zealand are a day ahead, I think. So if you're watching this from America, of course. But it's going to get quite spectacular over the next few months, as I said, as we head towards Red October, when basically they take them out and shoot them or hang them or whatever. And of course, we're going to maintain the rule, ladies first. I'm a lady. You can see Hillary going to say, but I'm not a lady. You purport to be one, so you go first. Can you imagine her reaction to that? That she's the first one up to the firing squad or the gallows or something like that, you know. But I want Obama to go first. No, it was all Obama's fault. He was the one. It wasn't nothing to do with me. Nothing to see here. Yeah, you can see what it's going to be like. So do you think they're going to shoot her, or do you think they're going to hang her? I mean, and is it going to be in the old classical sense of hang, where they just put a noose around her leg and let her swing, rather than the drop? Is Trump going to insist on the classical definition of, you know, hang them, and you know, like the Bible says, hang them by the neck until dead, sort of thing? So is he going to insist, you know, and that will double down on the Christian lobby, sort of thing? Say, you know, well, there you go. That's what it says in the Bible. Hang until, you know, by the neck until dead. So there's going to be no trapdoor, and there's going to be no blindfold, because, you know, we're going to take the blindfold off. What's the name of the law statute? It does have a name. Oh, I've forgotten. Anyway, take the blindfold off and just let her dangle there for, well, it could be 20 minutes. Filmed in 4K, beamed, you know, if not better, beamed around the world and stored in some archive for the future. So in 1,000 years' time, people can look back and actually see, you know, the warning to wantons. What you get if you know. Oh, can you imagine when some of this money starts coming back and we start realising we could have a much better space program, we could have gone space shuttle and beyond, we could have done all this Elon Musk, maybe in the late 80s, early 90s, we could be where Elon Musk is now. So 25 years earlier, in other words, half someone's lifetime. So you could have been watching what Elon Musk is doing. Now you're in your 60s, you could have been watching it when you're 35 to 40 sort of thing. And you could have even been involved. You could have actually become an astronaut on a mission to Mars. But now, you're too old. Can you imagine how irate some people were going to be when they realise that? Yeah, that they're too old. Anyway, as I say, the way that you get someone on this plane and divert them down to Gitmo is everyone else on the plane, of course, is some operative, probably from the military. They're all dressed up as normal human beings and with passports and everything like that. You get on the board and suddenly, once you're diverted to Gitmo, you suddenly realise you're going to Gitmo. Everyone else is just there to make sure you don't get off. I reckon that's how it probably is going down, or has gone down, and that's how they get these people. So anyway, just a quick squiz of the old plants, because I'm sure you want a quick squiz of the old plants. So yeah, we got some development. Let's get this shroud off. I don't know. We can get them down there. Sort of move the camera around. But as you can see, it's holding back the water now. So yeah. So we got plants in there. So we are making some progress, sort of thing. But if we get it, you get the organ. Oh, look at the colour on that now. Hopefully, if I've done all my work, you're picking that colour up. What about that colour there? And down here we get in there. So yeah, it's starting to get to where it should have been in October, I would suggest. So very interesting. So you get down in there and get down in there through there. I don't know. Walk down through there. Parsley. Yeah, something ate this one. That's the little bugger I caught. So he may be actually chewing the roots off now. You never know. So yeah. So we'll see how we go. Can we see anything in there? I'll pull that back. Okay. Anyway, that's about it, I think. Oh yes, this thing. Starting to come back now. You can see this. So there you go. That's just sand, surfacted sand with the candles around the outside, and the one in the centre seems to be doing a little bit better than yeah. So you have to keep watering it though. It's very porous. Yeah, I would say but it stays damp, sort of thing, you know. And you can see the damp patches in there. So interesting. And this one down here, as you can probably see, And down there, camera over the top. Yeah, camera over the top. Right. Oh, okay, and one in there. So, okay, well that's about it. And of course the cape's still, it's starting to actually look like a real cape now, but it's just so small, you know. That's what it should have been in October. Should have been like that in October. So yeah. Anyway, we'll keep glued to our TV set, see what's coming out of America, but it's going to get quite exciting, I would say. Yeah, classical. Going to get very classical, I reckon. You know, yeah. So is it Firing Squad or is it Gallows? And is it going to be the classic hung until by the neck until dead sort of thing? Yeah, maybe that's it. Okay, over.